a Marine, and a miracle. Marine Major Brian Dennis and Nubs, good morning to both of you. So let's go back to the fall of 2007. Brian, it's your second tour of duty in Iraq, and your assignment is to help train Iraqi soldiers. So you go to one of these border forts near the western border of Iraq, and there are always stray dogs around these forts, but there's something special about this dog. What was it about this dog?
You know, it just, as soon as I met him, he just kind of jumped up and started playing with me. And actually, some of the pictures in the book is like the first time we ever met. He just kind of flipped over on his belly, started rubbing his belly, and we just kind of had really my whole team, we just kind of bonded with him as soon as we met him. He's just obviously a unique character. His ears were cut off, so we just started calling him Nubs.
Why were his ears cut off?
You know, one of the Iraqi soldiers ended up doing it. I guess sometimes they do that. They said to make the dogs tougher or something. So the Iraqis actually use the dogs as like an early warning system. They let them live around the border forts because they'll alert them to anyone approaching, and it doesn't make much sense to me.
But you took to the dog, and the dog obviously took to you, and over the next couple of months you'd go back and forth to that fort, and you would see him. At one point he had been stabbed in the side with a screwdriver by somebody, and you thought you were going to lose him.
Yeah, that's right. It's every couple weeks or so we'd end up patrolling up in that same area of the border, and this one time when I went up there, he had a big wound on his left side. One of the other Iraqis had told me that one of the soldiers had gotten mad and stabbed him with a big screwdriver, and he looked terrible. We didn't think he was going to make it. He was all infected, and it was bad.
But he not only made it, he remained your buddy whenever you'd be there, and then finally in January you take off to go 70 miles to the border with Jordan, essentially, assuming you might never see the dog again.
Yeah.
And he starts to follow, but you're in Humvees, there's no way he can catch up. A couple of days later, what happens?
Well, somehow, and that's the big mystery, no one really knows how he did it, but he saw the direction we went, and he just took off and started off the direction we went. And like I said, 75 miles or so is how far he ended up walking, and he found our team. It was just the craziest thing when he walked up. It was just amazing.
That must have been a shock to you, right, to suddenly see the dog?
It was. I was actually inside the Iraqi battalion headquarters, and one of my Marines came running in and told me, he's like, you're not going to believe who's outside. And I'm thinking he's talking about a person. I'm like, who's outside? Send him. He's like, Nubs is outside. I'm like, I can't be Nubs. There's no way. So I go running out there, and he just jumps up on me and is going crazy. And
he became basically the mascot for you guys, except there were a few soldiers. It's against military rules to have dogs.
It is.
And you were reported, and they basically said to you, the commander said, get rid of the dog, or else.
Much. Get rid of the dog or else is pretty much it. We knew that, I mean, we wouldn't have actively brought a dog back with us. We knew it was against the rules, but since he followed us, we're kind of overlooked it a little bit. We're like, well, we're here in the middle of nowhere. Who can it hurt? But yeah, some of the people got upset and basically told on us, and the commander said, get rid of the dog.
But instead, you made it your mission to get that dog to the United States. It cost about $5,000. You put out basically a plea over the internet to raise money for the dog. Yeah,
I just kind of sent an email to some friends, like, hey, it's going to cost a lot of money. If you want to chip in, feel free. We're going to rescue the little guy. And oh man, the response was overwhelming. So many people wanted to help. And it was pretty cool. And
you got your interpreter's brother, I guess, took him over the border into Jordan, and then he was flown out from Jordan after, I guess, the Jordanian King's veterinarian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Checked him out, and then he took a plane ride to Chicago, hooked up with friends of yours, then to San Diego. You're still in Iraq. You finally get back to San